All right. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. This is going to be a really great workshop. Aya's put a lot of time into this, and she has a wealth of knowledge that she's going to share with you tonight. And Cynthia is going to help her with that, I believe, as well. So without further ado, Aya, Cynthia, take it away.
Okay, good evening, everyone. As Sinclair mentioned, my name is Ia Lewis. I am with SoulWorks L3. We're a social business enterprise. I am a general contractor. However, there is a social mission attached to everything that I do. And our nonprofit that Cynthia and I helped to found is one that teaches young people in particular the construction trades. So when they get to a certain point, then we pair them with um, contractors that are then my subs, so that they can gain a little bit more work experience and just more knowledge in the industry. So that's a little bit about me. I don't know if Cindy wants to say anything, probably not. So let me share my screen. All right, can everyone see?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Yes.
So, I am a Sunshine graduate. I came through in 20, what was that, 19, I believe, 2018. And I was in the first construction specific cohort for Sunshine. So a lot of the information that you will see tonight has to do with some of the things that I've learned since then, and some things that were presented while we were in class, things that we may want to think about. So construction business and achieving contracting success is the title of our workshop tonight. Thanks for joining us. And as Sinclair also mentioned, Sunshine Enterprises is hosting this event tonight, and I so appreciate it. So a little bit about our agenda. I will talk about diversity certification. And in this context, we are talking specifically about MBE, WBE, DBE, and VBE, all the letters, and I'll go through what each one of those means just in case someone is not familiar. We'll also talk a little about joint ventures and cooperatives, and how they may help in growing your business. And then finally, winning bids and the things that we need to think about as far as necessary criteria and how your diversity status may assist in that, as well as a little bit about estimates. So one of the questions I always get is, why should I be certified? What's in it for me? Legitimate question. But here are a few reasons that you may want to consider it. To have access to contract opportunities. In a lot of instances, depending on who the prime is for an awarded contract, there are typically diversity goals. Think about agencies like CTA, CHA, Chicago Transit Authority, Chicago Housing Authority. Some of those governmental agencies typically have diversity specifications in the contract that the prime has to satisfy. It's generally a percentage of the total award. So having that MBE, DBE, WBE certification can help that prime satisfy those numbers in their larger contract. It will also give you increased visibility in you will be listed on websites for the city of Chicago or CHA, any of the townships surrounding Chicago. So when your company's name shows up and there is a prime that's been awarded a contract or that is bidding on a, they may reach out to you because your name is on their that list that they've pulled up. Another reason you may want to consider certifying is reciprocal recognition. And by that, I mean one agency may certify you, but that certification may be recognized by another agency. For instance, if you're certified with the state of Illinois, then some of the agencies here in the city of Chicago may recognize that, understanding that you've already gone through the necessary criteria for becoming certified. They may ask a few questions, but your process won't be nearly as arduous as it would be if you were starting from scratch. So that's another consideration. Networking and support, DBE, WBE, MBEs tend to know each other, just like in most contractors that are carpenters by trade. They run in the same circles. So having opportunities for working and additional support will come about from some of the agencies. They may host networking events. CTA, sorry, had one today, I believe. So there will be networking opportunities because those agencies want to know who you are, so that they can reach out to you and help to support your efforts in the construction field. It will also give you a competitive advantage. Your resume and your capability statement may look the same as another company, but that one competitive edge may be that you are DBE certified, for instance. So having that certification just adds to the list of reasons why a larger company may want to work with you. And lastly, economic empowerment. That speaks to helping to gain additional projects and contracts, which in turn will affect your bottom line. So becoming certified, or if you're still on the fence and considering it, having those kinds of opportunities should be somewhere in the consideration. So here's a list of the agencies and organizations that recognize which of the certifications. Under minority business enterprise, as I mentioned, City of Chicago, Illinois CMS, which is that state certification, Minority Supplier Diversity Development Council. So this is a list, and we'll send not only the recording, but I'll send this to Sinclair so that she can send it to you as well. But these may be some of the agencies that would certify you. So if you are considering working with any of them, you do want to make sure that they recognize the certification that you are pursuing. So here I want to talk a little bit about joint ventures and why you may consider it. So joint ventures really speak to sharing resources. I'm not sure how many of you have actually done an asset map. I try to do one at the first of every year so that it just kind of brings back to mind those resources that I have available to me, whether it's a resource type of software I'm using, a resource of capital that I've been saving. I've got some money stashed for equipment or to hire more people and expand my workforce. Whatever those resources are that your company has, I suggest doing an asset map. You may want to do it annually, but you may also want to consider doing it quarterly, depending on how fast you're growing. But joint ventures allow you to share those resources. So I may have, for instance, a BPI certification, Building Performance Institute, and I may uh, enter a joint a weatherization contract that does that. So by pooling those resources, he's able to pursue more jobs. I put my certifications on the table, and it becomes a win-win situation. We always want to think about risk mitigation in any joint venture, partnership, whatever the case may be, and who is doing what as far as responsibilities, who brings any liability to the table. And this may be something you don't necessarily think about, but if someone has heavy debt, for instance, and you're pursuing a relatively large contract, that debt may affect your ability as a joint venture to get bonded. So things like that should be taken into consideration. But as well as if you're sharing resources, then you also share the risk. Then of course there are benefits to joint ventures. Can open up new markets, ones that you may or may not have thought about or just weren't sure how to break into. Your partner in the joint venture may have relationships that they've already formed or begun to form in a certain area. So utilizing those relationships to get projects is another example of how joint ventures can be beneficial. Increasing your innovation. So, I talked about software just a moment ago, but that may be equipment. Your joint venture partner may have the newest, biggest, best, brightest thing in the industry, and you'll have a chance, you'll have the opportunity to utilize that equipment as you go after jobs together. Now, joint ventures as a benefit are short-term commitment. It may be for one project or a series of projects. It may be for a defined time period, maybe for 1 year, 6 months, that sort of thing. So it does not have to be, you're not marrying your joint venture partner necessarily, unless you decide, hey, this is working out. Let's extend this joint venture that we've got going. But because it is typically a short-term commitment, you've got an opportunity to make adjustments as needed or simply finish that one job and walk away. The competitive edge and the benefits, as I mentioned, technology, marketing, distribution networks, things like that. Two heads are better than one, as they say. So your joint venture partner may have just different way of thinking about things and a different approach to completing projects. And that's something that they bring to the table. And then you may bring something else to the table that will benefit and help that joint venture grow. So cooperatives are a little bit different. Just a quick question here. How many of you have any experience or have heard of cooperatives? So typically, cooperatives, we think about cooperatives for housing. We think about cooperatives for farming, but usually not necessarily in terms of construction or contracting businesses. But cooperatives offer a voice no matter how large or small your company may be. And it's all in how you decide to set it up. But each member typically has one vote. So one vote, one voice. And everyone has a say in how the company is run, the decisions that are made, from staffing to equipment to the projects that you'll pursue. So everyone in most cooperatives comes in as an equal partner, which can sometimes be difficult getting everyone to agree, but the benefits are shared by everyone, not just the one who has the biggest share. So that may be something to consider if you've been working with another company, for a few years. The relationship is going well. You seem to work well together. You have a lot of the same types of ideas, and you're on the same page as far as which direction things should go. And you get along. So this cooperative idea is relatively new in certain sectors, but this idea has been around for a very long time. Another thing that cooperatives will offer is a cost saving. So if there is a large piece of equipment to buy, or you've got to purchase inventory, for instance, sharing those expenses across X number of people is a lot more palatable than you coming out of your pocket for the entire expense. So that's something else to think about. And being a social business enterprise, the community development aspect of what a cooperative um, is what really piques my interest. And it's a you want to emphasize that local community investment. So, for instance, you've got 3 or 4 years, that are working together. They form a cooperative, and they may decide, you know what, let's go ahead and do a few, as we call them, fix and flip, or a few development projects on 2 or 3 very hyper local blocks. So that local community, because of your investment, now begins to turn the tide. And there may be other investors that come in because they see the activity that's helping. You're not only creating interest in that particular community, but you're creating jobs because you have multiple projects going, whether they're simultaneously or back to back. It will help retain the wealth within that community. And there's a certain social responsibility that goes along with being a part of a cooperative. You've got to learn to work with others and play nice in the sandbox, as they say. They also offer long-term stability, because the entire premise is built on that trust, a mutual benefit for all partners, and most partners stay for that long-term time frame because it is more stable than a joint venture or maybe a different type of partnership, because there are collective benefits that happen as a result of a cooperative venture. You've also got to access support services. So they offer shared, because everyone in the cooperative may not be a contractor. Everyone in the cooperative may have a different set of skills that they bring to the table, but collectively they operate as a big company. So things such as your back office support, legal aid, you may have an attorney that's a member, marketing, technical expertise, it could be anything. But as you begin to form your cooperative, part of the conversation really needs to be, what is it that we need? So that you can seek those partners and have start out with a firm foundation. So when you look at joint ventures and cooperatives, these are the two images that come to mind. You know, your joint venture is usually 2, possibly 3 partners. Your cooperative is typically a group of individuals that come together for a common purpose. So again, that JV is short to medium term goals with very defined partners that allow each of them to share the risk, but also share the rewards. And cooperatives are a more integrated approach. It's a more sustainable structure because it is long-term. It's set up to be long-term and provide that stability. So in talking about winning bids, you know, a lot of us are on this cycle. We bid a project, we get a project, we do the project, we get paid, go after another project, and then we bid, then we do the project and get paid. So it's kind of a hamster wheel. But you can set yourself up even outside of joint ventures and cooperatives. But you can set yourself up with a strategy for success. If there are certain types of projects that you bid, you may consider setting up templates, setting up, you know, certain paperwork so that you don't have to recreate it every single time you send out a bid. So preparation is key. And understanding the client need. Who is your target customer? What do they really need? What are they really looking for? And figure out which of your capabilities fit that client need. When looking at any bids, documents, and specs, we always want to understand what the requirements are. What are they asking for specifically? What are the deliverables? And can you do that? Do you have the skills? Does someone on your team have the skills? And if there are any questions, getting in front of those questions so that you can get clarity. And when you put your bid together, you understand exactly what they need. So doing that requirements analysis, and it may be sitting down, if you are still printing a bid or if you're looking at it, you know, on your computer, then assigning your staff to pieces of the bid and come back with any questions. So that may be something that you can do in your analysis. And then that evaluation criteria, understand how they score the bids. And they will typically tell you there's X percentage for, you know, your technical capabilities. What do your past projects and performances look like? What are your customers saying about you as references? So tailoring your bid accordingly, and meeting that evaluation criteria based on what they say. And sometimes you may have to do that line by line. What are they looking for? And answer the question in preparing your bid according to what they're saying in the criteria. The next thing you want to ask yourself is, do you have a pricing strategy? How do you come up with your pricing? Do you cover just your costs? Or is it labor, materials? Do you consider things like your profit? Because we're all in business to make profit. Do you consider things like, is there any rental equipment you have to either or satisfy the criteria? Your labor costs. Do you know how many hours it actually takes one of your carpenters to perform the task? So breaking down each piece of your pricing strategy and considering everything that needs to go into your bid is key for your success, so that you're not underbidding, but you're not drastically overbidding either. If you're coming in somewhere in the middle and you are satisfied with your profit margin, you know you can make some money off of this, and then feed that, and still stay within budget. So getting your pricing strategy together early on is key as well. Then you also want to ask yourself, if I were to read this, would I be impressed? Is it a well-structured proposal? Does it highlight your unique value proposition? There may be 10 carpenters, and I'm just using an example, I'm allergic to carpenters. But what's unique about your business or your service? What do you offer that the other 10 contractors don't? Make sure you highlight that in your proposal. You may be bidding off of, just a standard scope of work, but make sure that your proposal not only includes what's required in the scope of work, but also includes what value you bring to it. You have a special skill that you are utilizing in order to satisfy the criteria. Another thing that you really want to do is foster a relationship. In my previous career, eons ago, seems like, and I used to tell my clients that, I would joke with them and say, I plan on marrying all my clients. That meant I wanted to have a long-term relationship. They called me for everything they did. Is that the type of relationship you'd like to build with your client? They may call you this month because they need a bathroom redone. They're going to have company for the holidays, and they'd like to, showcase this new bathroom you've done. Foster strong relationships also means communicate. If it's something that you can't do or that you're running behind on, could be a supply chain order. And having gone through this with COVID, all of us know that can happen at any moment. But just let your customers know. Communicate with them if you anticipate anything that may go. And you also want to demonstrate your commitment to their success. What does success mean to them? And you should probably ask, what would make this a successful project to you? so that you always have that in the back of your mind as you are communicating with them, as you are letting them know, the details as much as they're interested, but so that they can see progress and let them know that you really want to do a good job for them. And I suspect that most of us do that anyway. But in your proposal, you can outline those kinds of things, how often you'll communicate. You plan on giving them a daily update or twice a week? What's that cadence? So just understanding what your client needs and building the relationship from there.
Yeah, really quick. We
Yes.
have a question. Are you okay to take those right now, or would you like everyone to wait till the end?
No, that's fine.
Okay, Al Turner, you can come off mute. Your hand is raised.
I just wanted to let you know that your audio is going in and out. That's all.
Oh, I apologize for that. Let me see if I can turn it up just a bit. Okay, is that any better?
Yeah, we can hear you well now.
Okay,
It just fades.
thanks for letting.
Just fades in and out sometimes.
Okay, sorry about that. I'll try to stay next to my mic. So another thing that we want to think about in building our roadmap for success is identifying key focus areas. What is it that you're really good at? What are the things that you like to do? And kind of marrying the two. You may want to do 10 different things, but where do you want to start? So identifying those key focus areas and getting really good at those things. You also want to set measurable goals. In 6 months, I will do this. In the next year, this is my target for revenue. So set those measurable goals based on not only your key focus areas, but where you are now. And then you can create those detailed action steps. My friends laugh at me sometimes because I tell them I think in outlines. So I may identify 2 key focus areas, set goals for those areas, and then break everything down in an outline so that I don't forget anything, but so that I can follow that outline as my action step. And lastly, we really want to establish accountability mechanism. Who is going to hold you accountable for doing those things that are defined in your action steps? Who's going to push you along? Who's your handler? Is it your office manager? Is it your spouse? But someone needs to hold you accountable for making sure that you continue to grow and that you meet your goals. So, are there any remaining questions that you may have? If you do, feel free to put them in the chat, or I will supply my email address. You can contact me afterwards. Some of the key takeaways from this, I would say, definitely consider getting certified because it will open doors. A lot of times, if you're bidding on a project, one of the first things they want to do is ask, are you certified? What's your certification? So being able to tell them yes could be helpful. And when I send this presentation to Sinclair, I will list, I'll send a list of additional resources and books and things that you can do your own research on and decide what's best for you.
We have a hand raised.
Yes.
Hi, good evening. My name is Cassandra. I'm a local real estate broker. First, I just want to say thank you for making time to really walk through this journey with us. I have one question. My first question was initially answered in the chat, and I was just asking about the cohort program, the construction cohort program,
Okay.
and if that was going to be offered. And Ms. Cynthia did respond, and she
Mhm.
did state that that would be offered again in 2025. I too am a Sunshine Enterprise graduate from 2016.
Congratulations.
So yes, so congratulations to you. I just wanted to say thank you for taking time to share your expertise and your experience. My other question is, I know that you mentioned that you are a general contractor.
Yes.
Do you have a workshop or a cohort program specifically for those that are interested in becoming GCs?
We are developing one.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, that is something that my partner and I have talked about, and we have we're almost there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So, how do we stay in contact for upcoming events such as, or upcoming opportunities such as the construction cohort, such as the mentorship through becoming a general contractor? How do we get on your distribution list for those types of things?
So I am going to put my email in the chat. And feel
Perfect.
free to email me. Cynthia that answered the question for you a little bit earlier um, is actually the instructor for the construction cohort.
Nice. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
Okay. And actually, I just realized me that in the chat for everyone. Okay. And Sinclair will have information on any, because you are Sunshine alum, anyone that's registered here will get our upcoming information. Sinclair will pass along information to Sunshine, but we will also take note of these registrations as well.
Perfect.
Okay, and actually let me put my scheduling link in as well. So feel free to schedule time with me, and we can talk about walking through not only any of your diversity certifications. I can also help you with if you happen to be an electrician or do energy efficiency types of work. I can also get you ICC certified, which is Illinois Commerce Commission certified, to be able to recognize the rebates and incentives for your customers.
Phenomenal.
Did we have any other questions?
Feel free, everyone, to come off mute and ask questions.
So, Cindy, I'm not sure how much you want to, or if you want to talk about any of the other upcoming workshops for 2025? Or are we just sending out marketing materials? Okay, I guess she doesn't feel like talking to me.
Whenever you guys have that information, I can definitely send that around to everyone.
Okay. Yeah, so, and just so that you all are aware, I also, do workshops for NHS, Neighborhood Housing Services, that include things like, green and healthy homes, preparing your home for the winter, mostly energy efficiency, solar topics. So if that's something you're interested in, I can definitely make sure that you get that information as well.
Yeah, I do have another question. I hope I said your name right. I'm sorry.
Sure. It's Ia, it's no problem.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I apologize. For the energy efficiency, that just sparked another question. Do you have access to workshops that help to train contractors on how to become equipped to repair energy efficient products as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'll send you an email.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks. And Cynthia, how are you back with us? Okay. Well, Sinclair, I will definitely get you the information on any of our upcoming workshops. I know in the spring and summer, Cynthia typically hosts a Saturday morning mastermind. Last year, we conducted them here at our center in Dalton. We're located in Dalton, Illinois. And we did a breakfast and mastermind session about construction topics.
Yeah,
Specific.
I'm sorry I couldn't get to it. I don't have a whole lot of voice at this point, but yes, we are doing and Mastermind. We'll be working on those again. We're working on a series called Profit First for contractors right now that we just started, and we have an end of the year special that we're working with our factor CFO program that provides bookkeeping and tax preparation for end of the year at a highly discounted rate for our members. So if you're interested in that, reach out to us and we can see if we can put you in touch with that. First quarter, we're going to be doing a series of workshops here at Sunshine with the BAS team, focusing on how we identify projects and redevelop real estate in our own communities, in our single family to 1 to 4 space, putting some resources behind that. I also expect that we're going to do a new cohort focused on that in the fall of 2025 on development in that 1 to 4 space focused on this housing sector. So do stay in touch with us. Keep a lookout for us. That spring cohort on the real estate, I'm sure you're going to find very informative if you're in this space. Okay.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Any other questions from anyone?
Yes, I have a question. Will there be any workshops on obtaining that DBE?
I can't say that it is a workshop, but it is a process that I can definitely help walk you through. So get in touch with me. Use my scheduling link. And we can talk about that offline.
Okay, because I'm currently waiting on the MBE, and I mean, it's been a long process.
Yeah. What
What?
agency did you,
City of Chicago.
okay. Yeah, they are a little backed up. Used to be give or take 4 to 6 weeks. I want to say bump that maybe 2 weeks, 2 additional weeks.
Yeah, you should know that your your audio is going in and out.
I apologize. I'm not sure why I turned myself up all the way.
Yeah, I have one more question, I'm sorry. Do you have any information on prevailing wage training for contractors? Because I know that that's been a big thing that I've been coming across with a lot of my investors, having to sort out their budget and having to really shift the narrative and shift gears because of now the prevailing wage. Do you have any classes or anything on that, or anybody that you could recommend?
Yes, I do. Yes, talk to, just send me an email, and Cindy and I
Okay,
can talk to you about that a little offline.
thank you.
Okay. Do we have any more questions?
Doesn't look like it. It sounds like you guys just did a great job presenting tonight.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. This was a great workshop. I think everybody here loved it and really appreciated it. Obviously, because they're looking for more from you. But thank you so much for taking the time tonight and doing this. And we look forward to more.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. All right.
All right, everybody, have a good night.
All right, you
Good night,
too.
everyone. Thanks for joining.